Hello, Claudia. Hello, Palm Springs Point of View viewers. How are you doing today, Claudia?
I am doing great, but what an episode we have, Conrad.
We have a terrific episode because we're going to talk all things Palm Springs resident and friend, Trini Lopez, because there is a new documentary out.
My Name is Lopez is the name, and it's opening up the AmDoc Festival, and we are so excited about this documentary because we'll be interviewing both the filmmakers and the producers right here.
That's right. And I believe our first interview is going to be with you sitting down with the directors. Is that correct?
Yes, P. David Ebersole and Todd Hughes of the Ebersole Hughes Company, coming right off of House of Cardan.
Let's take a look.
What a great day this is. I am so happy to have joining me extraordinary filmmakers, documentarians, and Palm Springs' finest, P. David Ebersole and Todd Hughes of the Ebersole Hughes Company. Hey,
Hi,
David, Todd, how are you?
Very good. And don't forget, neighbors.
And neighbors. I think I can, let's see. Oh,
oh, I can hear you.
Just across the golf course. Whoa. So it's great. Many of our viewers know that you are just coming off or still on a high from the film that you produced, House of Cardan, on the life of the iconic Pierre Cardin. How do you feel coming off of that and now with your new film, My Name is Lopez, about the life of Palm Springs' own Trini Lopez?
Well, part of the Pierre Cardin philosophy, right, was encompassing the world. So the film, even though it's been out now for over a year, we just opened in Russia last week.
Yeah.
Which was thrilling, and we did a Q&A with the Russian audience, who was so sweet and wonderful. And we're opening in China next month, I believe.
Yeah, Ukraine is coming up. Spain just happened. So like, even though it sort of feels like we've already released House of Cardan, right now it's rolling out globally. So it's really kind of still going on. It's pretty fun.
While all this was happening for the past, year or so, you've been working on your new documentary about Trini Lopez?
Mm-hmm. It was overlapping. It was what now? Is it 2 years ago to the date about that we filmed that live concert in Palm Springs that everybody in Palm Springs came out and supported us doing, and we had 2 performances, 6 cameras going, and filmed Trini Lopez in a rare live concert. So that was kind of the backbone of the film. And then from there, we did a few more interviews. We had done some interviews with Trini. We were planning on, after we got done with the Cardan edit and launch, to go into a whole, amped up mode of getting interviews, et cetera, when this weird thing happened, which was, the pandemic. So suddenly we had, good interviews with Trini, this great concert, and pretty much his whole story in the can. And instead of going that celebrity route, what we decided to do was go a more intimate, personal route with the film, which is why it's called My Name is Lopez. It's him essentially telling us most of his own story. There are a few talking heads, a few celebs in it as well, but we focused on Trini being able to tell his own story. And he's such a raconteur. He's so charming. He just holds the
We
screen.
all knew and loved him. And to those of our viewers that don't know, something very sad happened on August 11th. The beautiful Trini Lopez passed away. And I think you have a little story about what your plans were and how you had to transition after this moment, right?
Well, this is our 6th feature documentary. And as we worked with Pierre Cardin, who was 95 when we met him, and 97 when the film premiered, and just died last year at 98. Yes. We got to work with the man, we got to know the man, we got to experience the premiere of the film with him as a living, breathing entity. And it was so exciting to see a man like that get his recognition at the end of his career. Yeah. Not when he's 40, not when he's 50, when he's 100, right? Yeah. And with Trini, it was the same thing. We thought, how wonderful, we'll get to bring this guy's story and all these people rediscover him for the first time. Because going into this, we knew Trini Lopez, but I have to say, going out of it, we're huge fans now. His music is amazing. His story is so American and so important.
And we were preparing to show him the finished rough cut of the film on August 1st. And the week before that, about 10 days before that, he had gone into the hospital, for what we call old man problems. He had a blockage. And he came out of it very weakened, not feeling well at all, but he still wanted to see the rough cut. So on August 1st, we had a date to go to his house and show him the full rough cut when he and his longtime girlfriend / biographer, Lee, said, I don't know, actually he's not feeling so well. And then that day, he ended up going into the hospital August 1st, and 10 days later, we lost him to COVID. So he had seen some sequences. We had been able to show him what's kind of the end of the movie now, the Gibson guitar sequence, and we've been able to show him the concert footage. So he was aware of the movie and he knew what it was. Thank God we had him over a couple of times to the house just to say, well, why don't you come just at least see what we're working on? Because otherwise he wouldn't have been able to see any of it. And it's so fun to see them get the reaction from the audience when the movie is done. That is just a thrill. It's like, that's us receiving our Academy Award is when our subject gets that standing ovation or gets that moment where they get the fan love all over again from their career having been put before everyone. So it's just, it's both a tragedy and a blessing that we made this film and it exists so that now people will be able to know what his legacy truly is.
I mean, this is just the perfect way to honor, both with Pierre Cardin and with Trini Lopez, just to honor these icons. And now we've got this Thursday, the opening of your film, a gala premiere, and it's also kicking off the Amdocs Festival.
But what's really great also that Teddy Gurria, who runs the Amdocs, has done for us and for Palm Springs is that he made it the opening night film, and it will be at the drive-in, at the Mary Pickford Drive-In.
Yes.
So we all get to come together in our cars, and watch the film in a public environment, which is just so great.
So for Amdocs, is it going to all be drive-in Camelot?
We're the only one that he's doing in real life scenario.
Going back to Trini, I also love that you said you wanted to, the concept was to be very intimate with Trini and his life. So I think we're all looking forward to that because we all had, so many of us have had these intimate experiences with Trini when he was singing with the Gand band. I sang with him.
Right?
He was just so lovable, and he just felt like also another neighbor like you guys and the Gands, Joan and Gary Gand, who are the producers, right?
Yeah.
It's always so surreal the way you come to these legends, because both with Pierre and Trini, we actually got to know them pretty well before we took the super deep dive. And you realize these people are pretty incredible. The lives they've led, the people they've been with, right? Just to look into a set of eyes, like with Pierre, and go, boy, those eyes were looking right into Jean Cocteau's eyes. Right. Like that kind of thing, or Trini, and just like, God, Frank, Nancy, Dean, Sammy, right? We're all his close friends, so.
Yeah, he lived a long and beautiful life, and he was a huge star. And younger people may not even remember.
And a civil rights pioneer in America, right?
Yes.
He's the reason the Latino name was destigmatized as a valid entertaining name. Before him, his buddy Richard Valenzuela had to change his name.
Valens changed his name,
And he fought to keep the name Lopez,
So does that have something to do with the title, My Name is Lopez?
Exactly, yeah.
My name's not Lauren or something like that, right?
Right.
My name's Lopez.
He insisted on keeping his name, and he's got a great story in it where he had his first big break, and somebody, wanted to put him, give him a recording career, but they wanted him to change his name. And he said, oh, sir, I'm sorry, I can't do that. No, I can't. You got to leave. And the guy said, okay, come back. You can keep your name.
Wow.
As Tony Orlando is in the film, the great Tony Orlando, who's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
He said because of Trini, back then you did not see Garcia or Lopez on the Las Vegas marquee, and that he paved that way meant it could be followed by Orlando and, you know, Rodriguez and
Right.
Jennifer Lopez, right?
Wow. No, this will be so interesting. I can't wait to see the film.
Well,
somebody asked us about, you know, what do we feel like when you start looking at our movies, you know, Jane Mansfield and Stanley Kubrick and Pierre Cardin and Trini Lopez, and it's like, what's one of the things that we would say is kind of a through line, like why do we choose subjects and how do we get involved? And we kind of came up with this idea that we get attracted to creative pioneers, people who help to change the world through the talent that they have and through culture. And so Trini Lopez is one of those people. He changed the face of the recording industry by demanding to be taken seriously as a Latin artist in the mainstream.
Well, you know, it's beautiful what you have done to just totally honor this legend. And so for everybody out there, just remember the premiere is this Thursday, and it's sold out at the Mary Pickford, but it will be with Amdocs. It'll be at the Camelot, so you'll find it, and do enjoy it. And thanks so much, you guys, for being here.
Thank you,
David and Todd. What a treasure, just for taking this on and making it happen.
So interesting.
Wasn't that great? I mean,
Yes.
Those guys they're amazing to interview. They're amazing people, and just what they've done. Now, we haven't seen My Name is Lopez yet, but we all know how great the film My House of Cardin was, right?
And those guys are local residents, and also the producers who you spoke with are also local residents.
Yeah, and you know, this film wouldn't have happened without Joan and Gary Gand, the producers, also known as the Gand Band. They dug themselves in, and they're going to tell you all the behind scenes that they had to go through to make this film happen. So let's take a look at that.
Let's listen.
Well, I'm excited to be here with the producers of My Name is Lopez, Joan and Gary Gand, known around town as fantastic musicians, the Gand Band, and they are also preservationists and were dear friends and neighbor to Trini Lopez. Welcome, Joan, Gary.
Hi, Claudia. How you doing today?
We're good. I'm good. You guys good?
Yes, we are happy to be here in the land of sunshine.
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful day. Hey, I rode my bicycle by your house today.
Oh, you did? You should have rung the doorbell.
I should have, but I had to make sure I could get up that hill.
Yeah, getting down is a lot easier.
So tell us about your involvement in My Name is Lopez and the Trini Lopez documentary. How did it come to be, and what all did you do to make this happen?
Sure. Well, it started with me having a birthday.
Okay.
So I had a birthday, and it was one of the big ones. So I decided to have a party and invited a few friends to get together. And among those friends were Trini. Sorry, our kitty cat is getting in the way here. Trini and his longtime companion, Aura Lee. And,
Yes.
And our friends, P. David and Todd, who happened to be documentary film directors.
Mm-hmm.
And we were not thinking anything in particular by inviting all four of them to our party, but we just, put together a little group that we thought would be compatible.
150 of our closest friends.
I know how that goes during the pandemic.
So
this was before the pandemic.
Yeah, this was before. Yes.
3 years ago.
Yes. So as we were circulating around the party, saying hello to everybody and checking on them and seeing who got make sure that people got food. Sorry.
Hi, baby. Aw.
She likes the light.
Oh, yeah.
We noticed that Trini and Orly and Todd and David were sitting together. And so we went over to join them and just started chatting. And then
I opened up my big mouth and I said, guys, somebody should make a documentary about Trini. It's a great idea. I said, I know you guys are really busy with the Pierre Cardin, Life of Cardin movie. And they said, well, we've really kind of got that wrapped up and we're looking for our next project. And then Joan looked at me and said, "What do you think?"
And he's sitting right there.
Yeah.
Trini's sitting right
So
there.
we looked at Trini and we said, would you be interested in doing something like this? They're wonderful filmmakers. We can tell you we've seen all their films and great people. And Trini is all about that. He needs to be working with good people who he feels are on his side and are, going to be the right ones, to carry on his story, to pass on his story.
Mhm.
So he felt good about it. Right then he said, yeah, I'm up for it. And he actually said, I won't even charge you. I'll do it for free.
Yeah,
I loved his sense of humor. I just love it. It's great.
Yeah.
He's great. And so then, P. David and Todd kind of look around and say, and now all we need are some producers.
Mhm.
And then it got real quiet.
And I said,
You started it.
And I said, what does a producer do? Fully knowing the answer. And they said, the producers pay for it. I said, yep, we'll do it.
Well, we learned that the word check is very important when you're making a film.
Yeah.
Writing a check and then
Mhm.
checking on everything.
You're right.
And even doing things like spell checking the credits and the captions.
Oh my, yeah.
We have been involved in every little detail from writing the big checks on down to catching a name misspelled.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's
Another-
amazing. Well, once you're involved, you're involved. And I know you guys because you get very involved. When you do, you are super focused.
Top to bottom.
Yeah.
We it sounds corny, but we're all about quality,
Mhm.
which is a forgotten term. But when we do a live performance, it's always good sound, good lighting, great music, great performers.
Such as Trini, who used to
Yeah.
jump in and sing, which was
right, exactly.
great.
We'd always bring somebody great in. Brian Ray from Paul McCartney's band, Billy Gibbons, Marty Lush, Buddy Love. All these great performers would come to play with us because they knew it was going to be good. And they
Yes,
could count on us.
absolutely.
And so we took the same approach when we were putting the movie together, which is, making every single nut and bolt, every particle of it, another P for particle, important and correct, the right color for we were picking out colors for fonts. I mean,
You name it, we did it. But what was really great was working with friends in this community.
Yeah.
It's such a creative community in Palm
Yes.
Springs.
Mhm.
And every time we needed something done, there was just the perfect person that we happened to know that was excited about doing it. We had Tom Dole do some graphic design for us. And
Great.
did a fantastic job on the credits and the picking the fonts and the poster,
Right. And of
the
course,
title.
Shag got involved and did some artwork for us, which is animated, which really, really makes it fun, like Saturday morning Beatles cartoons. I mean, it's really.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so excited to see it.
It's a lot of fun. So we had a great time. And in fact, the trailer, which we just finished, was put together by a friend of ours that we used to live in one of the Wexler steel houses here in Palm Springs that we got to be friends with. And that's the business he's into, making trailers. And I said, we need a trailer. When? Now. It's okay. It says Monday. Give me till Monday.
So we have a brand new trailer that you just finished. It's great.
Hi, everybody. I'm Trini Lopez.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trini Lopez.
I didn't think that any of my songs would be hits. That's for starters.
You really were the trailblazer.
Trini Lopez.
Great, Trini Lopez. Trini's back.
Trini is probably one of the most exciting young performers today.
Oh, he was cute as a button. Yeah, he was a handsome kid.
Like a lot of people from my generation, I discovered him through thrift store records.
Gibson came to Trini and said, we want you to design 2 guitars for us.
This guitar, I've made every single Foo Fighters record with.
Because people like my style, I guess, My father kept coming in from Mexico to Texas, illegal, by the way.
People today do not realize what he went through because he was a Mexican and proud of it.
He said, I'd like to talk to you about maybe recording you. The only problem is we need to change your name.
Take that Lopez name out.
At that time, folk music was real in.
Now he added some Latin rhythm to it, and a fusion happened.
He was doing something that was so different than anything else that was being done.
And so I get credit for starting Latin rock.
The moment Trini hit with a power that was not too unlike the power of the Beatles, really.
Trini was like more popular than any of us.
I started hearing about a place in Hollywood called PJ's. They were all going to this place. Sinatra, Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, Natalie Wood. Frank Sinatra sent one of his biggest record producers, and he would like to offer you a 6-year recording contract. So ever since then, I never did the Johnny Carson show anymore. Princess Grace, she was my biggest fan. He said, I think you should leave the movie. There was a falling out. My name is Trinidad Lopez. Now everybody calls me Trini for short. Thank you!
When people say, oh, what did you do for the last year? Well, we finished the movie because we had all the pieces. We had the concert footage. We had the interviews. We had all the archival stuff. And so P. David and Todd decided to edit it themselves in their editing suite here in Palm Springs because they couldn't go anywhere and neither could we. So we were able to do the whole thing over Zoom and the telephone and all the various technologies we have to edit it, see versions of it, post it, go back and forth with the post-production house, the sound editors.
Yeah.
We had 2 different music composers. One guy was in London and the other guy, Liverpool, and the other guy was in Cincinnati. So again, we're corresponding and sending tracks back and forth. And then I was doing guitar demos saying, well, I want it to sound like this, and then sending it to the guy in Liverpool. And then the guy in Liverpool says, well, I think maybe the guy in Cincinnati would be better for that. And, and
wow, this is deep involvement into the music.
Yeah. And then, and then we're cutting the music to the film. So the guys all over the world are watching the film with SMPTE code, with time code, and they're putting in parts and all of the music, cues. And then we have to, and then we got lucky, and the guy in Liverpool had a friend who worked at Abbey Road. So we were able to get the music tracks mixed at Abbey Road, where the Beatles did all of their stuff.
Yes.
So it's just,
It sounds
amazing. That's totally amazing.
The whole thing really.
So we're now moving through 2020 and the pandemic and all this happening, and then Trini basically falls ill and.
Yeah, in August. He passed away in August. And that was really, the sad part was we were just getting the first rough cut of it done. And we were all supposed to get together that Saturday to watch it together. And he got sick.
I mean, and Palm Springs really came to a halt when we found this out. It's because he was so known and so loved, and just the nicest, sweetest guy, the most talented and great friends of yours. But we would always enjoy whenever we had a moment to spend time with him, sing with him, whatever, it's just, but then obviously it had to go on. You had to keep working because I'm sure you had a time frame where you had to actually finish this, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of therapeutic actually to work because we were, of course, very, very sad and crying. And, normally you could go to a funeral, and here we couldn't even go to the funeral. It was held in Dallas. We got to watch it on Zoom, just for a very close family. And working on the film was so therapeutic because we felt like we got to be with him every day.
I can
and
imagine.
we were thinking about him constantly. So that worked out to be for us, the way to sort of get through it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So when did you actually finish the film? Like, it's a wrap.
Any minute now.
Still have a few days, Carrie.
So it's hot off the presses.
Yeah.
Okay, this is even more exciting. Well, I know that all of Palm Springs is looking forward to the premiere, if they have tickets for the premiere, and then the subsequent, being able to view it online.
It's going to be a super fun experience. Everybody loves a drive-in. So.
And you're going to perform. The Gand Band is performing.
That's right. We're going to do something unusual where she's poking me here.
Is it a secret?
Everybody knows what it is.
Well, we'll be playing, but you'll see. It's going to be something special.
Oh, good.
We won't just be playing.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty great. We have dreams that the story will expand from there, maybe into a Broadway show, maybe a TV series. You know, there's a lot of lot of ideas that we have to take it, farther. This is, we've got all the material, we've got the movie tells the story, and it's it's really a heartwarming story, and everybody to a man who has said to us after they've, previewed it, by the time you get to the end of this thing, you just love the guy. You're just in love with Trini. And that's how everybody in the whole world was in 1963. They all loved Trini. And we just want to, carry that on, because he was really a great hero. All the things that normally happen to entertainers, they end up badly. They end up in rehab, they end up in a car accident, they end up in a plane crash, they end up broke and destitute. Trini was the guy that made it all the way to the end. I mean, he had a great life. He never went through any of that kind of turmoil, and he was always happy. You met him. He was always up, and he was happy till a week before he died.
Well, that's the way it should be, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what we think, and we want to show people that it can be that way.
It's inspiring.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you both so much. I mean, for just making this happen, and just telling a beautiful story, which I know it will be, about the very, very late, great, and very amazing Trini Lopez. So
a legend.
Yeah, can't wait. A legend, yes. Can't wait. Looking forward. My name is Lopez. Thanks, Joan and Gary.
Thanks, Claudia.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Boy, the Gands, they are in everything, aren't they? Everything they touch is gold, I think.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing.
And Claudia, I have to ask you, what's with the guitar? What are you doing over there?
Hey, this is a replica, I have to say, of one of Trini's guitars designed for Gibson. Can you see?
That's right.
Ooh, so if I had a hammer,
I'd hammer in the morning. One of his many.
Enjoy the show and do catch it at Amdocs.
Yes.
My name is Lopez.
See you later.